Welcome. It's me, Bill, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Tennis Strategy 101. Let me see if I can get my picture a little more straight here. So, if my camera's tilted. All right. So, thanks for tuning in. And I know I've been away for a little bit, but I am determined to get more and more regular about coming on and doing videos sometime around the 7 o'clock hour here in my area. So, a couple of things. Number one, yes, indeed, Tennis Strategy 101 has been published. I made a PDF of the second draft of it, and some of you have been the lucky ones who got one of those. So, thank you for that. And as a result of that, I have received my first review from Master Pro Ken DeHart. So, thank you, Ken. And thank you to anyone who takes a moment to review that. I really do appreciate it. So Ken's review immediately goes in the early reviews, and I hope that those of you who've gotten that have gotten a lot out of it. I have also received a little bit of teasing from Dave Fish, the legendary coach of Harvard University men's tennis, who's a Hall of Famer and a good friend, a surprising good friend. And so he said, "Oh, you mean I'm supposed to hit the ball over the net?" So thank you for that, Dave. And another couple of pieces of personal info. I am actually not planning on traveling anywhere to speak this year, but that could change. Um, my wife and I will be coming to the UK in August. So if you are in the UK and you would like to host me to speak to your association, club, group, team, pros, I don't know, we could probably tolerate one or maybe two of those. And then after that, then probably I'm at risk for ruining my trip with my lovely wife. Anyway, so I am open to that. But now, what that also shows us here is that this is going to be really the main way that I get my information out to you. Is think about it. You don't have to sign up for a registration fee for a conference. You didn't have to travel and get a hotel room and take time off from teaching. I generally, when I go to something, I spend at least $1,000, between all those things if I'm going to a big conference, because, registration's like $400 and air flight is $500 or maybe a little bit less. And then, hotel room, is going to be over $100 a night, maybe closer to 200. Oh my goodness, it adds up so fast. And then there's the time that I wasn't teaching. So, it's interesting how there's this high cost to education, and part of my mission is to reduce that cost to you. So I want to provide lots and lots of value to you so that you feel like you're at a conference every day. So Tennis 101 is almost ready to publish. All I really need to do is get a cover reworked for that. I'm going to be pulling the book, Top 5 Strategies and Tactics for Winning Tennis, because Tennis 101 is going to replace it. But it's interesting how that book, Top 5, went to #1 on Amazon in short reads in coaching. So that's a big deal. So I was really happy about that. Captured a couple of screenshots of that. And my goal is to get this book, Tennis Strategy 101, briefly to #1 so that then I can call it a #1 bestseller. But now, that book is really targeted at two people. One, somewhere around the 2.5 player, someone who's just getting started playing matches. it could probably help some players who are at the 3-5 level who maybe they've neglected a fundamental or two. And it can also help beginners to kind of see what is the path, what are the things that they need to learn if they're really going to play. But even at the very beginning of the book, we talk about why do you play tennis? What does your tennis look like? Because 80% of people who play tennis, oh, yep, that's some of the foibles of live television here, people. Stuff happens, alarms go off, and you don't expect it. All right. 80%, this is a stat from on court, off court from way back. 80% of the people who play tennis simply want to rally around for 30 to 45 minutes, work up a sweat. They've got their regular partner they do this with, and then they go home and they do their chores or they have lunch and take a nap or whatever it is, right? So they might get out on a Saturday or Sunday morning for a little bit, or reverse, they get their chores done, then they go play tennis, and that's their exercise because they're just trying to stay alive. That's 80% of the people who play tennis, right? So when you hear these stats of, so many millions of tennis players, it's these people who get out there 1 to 3 times a month to do that, right? And then you have about 15% of people just want to play socially. They just want to get with their same group, play a set or 2 or 3 of doubles, and mess around, giggle when they miss, talk a little trash, and they don't really have any ambition about being super competitive, but they're going to be 3-0, 3-5. If you force them to, they'll be on a team. If you force them to, right? And unfortunately, a lot of clubs force people to be on teams because that's the only way to get on a court at your club, which I think is kind of sad. So one thing that I do when I'm on a club is I make sure that we have drop-in doubles where no USTA teams can also have a practice at that time, practice or match, because I want the people at my club to feel like they don't have to be on a team in order to play the game. So, because that's a nickel and diming thing that is I don't really like. And then you have these team captains, who some of them are not very nice to people. So I want my people to just feel free, but then the idea is we do want to suggest to them that maybe they will become part of the lunatic fringe, the 5% of people who play, 2 or 3 times a week, and they're on teams, and they might even be on multiple teams. And those people, drive a lot of participation, a lot of ball sales, a lot of lesson taking, and all that. So, but we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? I mean, you have to remember that these other big groups of people, you do need to cater to them. And this is Tennis Strategy 101 is catered to them, because those people who are going to rally a lot, well, they need to know how to do that, and the strategies are in there. And I like to say they're only secrets if you don't know them. So, there is a little bit of, I am veiling these things a little bit right now, but that's okay. And, and then the people that are playing socially, right, they're going to want to be someone who people want to play with. So if they learn to make fewer errors when they play, then they face less negativity from their partner. And so Tennis Strategy 101 is a solution for them too. And then you have the new players who are gung-ho, and they're inspired, and they aspire to be really good players, and you want them to have what they need to go forward. And unfortunately, people talk a lot about consistency, but I really dig into what does that really mean? And is that helpful or harmful? Is there a better way to think about it? And if you think of somebody's game as a boat, and their boat is leaking, right, then you don't focus so much on how fast your boat can go. You don't focus on your technique and how you paddle. What you do is first you have to plug those holes, and you've got to bail out the water because your boat full of water isn't going to go as fast. So I liken that to first working on making fewer errors, because there's some fundamental errors that people make and seemingly at higher levels of play. But if they actually could learn to eliminate certain types of errors, like balls in the net, I dig into why are balls in the net such a horrifically bad thing in your game. And then the other thing is, in order to be able to have fewer errors, then one thing you need is the ability to hit targets on the court. Because if you can hit your targets, then you can also hit the ball in more. All right. So that's it for today. But, Tennis 101 is coming out soon, and I might actually sign it up for a pre-order thing, and the ebook is going to be 99 cents for a short while. So look for that. Tomorrow, I'm going to dig in a little bit more into Tennis Strategy 101. But thanks for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave those, because right now I am simultaneously live on my Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. All right. So I will go back and look at comments and answer questions. So thanks for tuning in. And now I'm on my way, and I'll be going and talking to Dave Fish here in a little bit. We're going to be catching up. So thank you. Take good care, the three of you that I see that are watching right at this time.